Open-world games used to feel like the ultimate escape. A chance to explore vast, immersive landscapes at your own pace. But lately, something's changed. These worlds are getting bigger, but instead of feeling free, many players feel tired. Why are open-world games starting to feel more like a chore than adventures? And is there a way to bring the magic back? Let's take a closer look at why bigger doesn't always mean better in gaming. From the rise of the filler content to the struggle of balancing scale with depth, we will explore what makes open worlds work and why so many are failing to live up to their potential. At their core, games are interactive experiences designed with defined goals and rewards. But beyond this simple definition, games serve as a powerful tools for invoking emotions and connecting players. From the competitive thrill of League of Legends to the organizational mastery in Factorio, games fulfill various needs. Even the earliest arcade games captivated players by tapping into their primal desires for high scores, bragging rights, and shared experiences. But games are more than just systems and mechanics. They are experiences. They are designed to make us feel something, whether it's an adrenaline rush of a close victory, the satisfaction of solving a complex puzzle, or the emotional weight of a well-told story. Games like The Last of Us or Life is Strange show how interactive storytelling can evoke empathy and connection, while titles like Dark Souls or Celeste challenge us to push through frustration and achieve mastery. As games transitioned from arcades to homes, they retained this ability to bring people together. Whether it was discussing strategies for beating a tough boss, or sharing secrets about hidden Easter eggs, games have always been more than just entertainment. They are shared experiences that build connections. Over time, as technology advanced, games became more realistic, complex, and specialized to cater to a broader range of player interests. So, what makes these experiences? In the simplest terms, there are three key aspects: story, mechanics, and visuals. Let's take a closer look at how these shape the gaming experience and what this means for an open-world games. Imagine a triangle with story, mechanics, and visuals at its corners. Every game falls somewhere within this spectrum, reflecting the developer's focus during creation. Since games are created within limited time and resources, developers must prioritize certain aspects over others. This trade-off often defines the game's identity. For example, Dwarf Fortress focuses almost entirely on mechanics. Its emergent storytelling arises naturally from its deep systems, but its rudimentary visuals are secondary. In contrast, RimWorld builds on a similar mechanic, but enhances accessibility with simple, yet so effective 2D graphics. Meanwhile, a game like Super Mario 64 balances mechanics and visuals, prioritizing gameplay fluidity while keeping the story relatively minimal. But the gaming trinity isn't just about categorizing games. It's about understanding the trade-offs developers make. For instance, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild leans heavily into mechanics and visuals, offering a world that feels alive and interactive, but its story takes a backseat. On the other hand, Disco Elysium is a masterclass in storytelling, with mechanics and visuals serving the narrative, rather than overshadowing it. This triangle doesn't evaluate whether a game is good or bad, but rather highlights the focal points of its design. It's important to note that while mechanics and story can age gracefully, visuals often don't. This makes the triangle a useful tool for understanding game design decisions, especially when considering how open-world games fit into the picture. When we talk about open world games, it's important to understand that the term serves as an umbrella. Open world games exist on a spectrum between two approaches: open story world and open mechanics worlds. Both approaches offer unique strengths, but they also come with their own set of challenges. The best example of an open story world is The Witcher 3. Its map is carefully designed to catch players with meaningful side quests that explore the game's theme of moral ambiguity. These quests aren't just a filler. They deepen the lore and provide insights into the world and the protagonist, Geralt. Even though Geralt is well defined, the grey morality of the world allows players to make choices that feel consistent with his character. Another example is Elden Ring, which takes a more ambiguous approach to storytelling. Players can explore the lore at their own pace without obvious prompts. This level of subtlety allows for a sense of discovery and wonder. However, the challenge with open story worlds is ensuring that content is diverse and engaging enough to avoid feeling like a chore. On the other hand, games like Death Stranding demonstrate how open worlds can revolve around mechanics. As courier delivering packages across a desolate landscape, the world itself becomes a central mechanic. Over time, players can build various buildings and tools that make traversal easier, creating a sense of progress tied directly to the environment. The key challenge with open mechanics worlds is maintaining cohesion between the world and gameplay. Games risk falling into ludonarrative dissonance if the narrative and the mechanics feel disconnected. For example, when a protagonist who struggles in cutscenes can easily defeat hundreds of enemies during gameplay. But what happens when open world try to do both? That's where things get messy. AAA studios have turned the open world concept into a formula. Their calculation is quite simple. Bigger maps means longer playtimes, which of course justifies higher prices and recurring monetization. However, this strategy often leads to bloated worlds filled with repetitive content. Take Assassin's Creed Valhalla. While the game boasts hundreds of hours of content, much of it involves generic fetch quests and meaningless collectibles. These games prioritize quantity over quality, turning the open world into a checklist of chores rather than a meaningful experience. The result is a phenomenon I like to call filler worlds. These open worlds act as a filler episode in a long-running series, unrelated to the main plot, with no significant character or story development, designed purely to pad out playtime. This approach is exhausting for players, as it prioritizes busy work over genuine engagement. But why does this happen? The answer lies in the structure of AAA studios themselves. These companies are massive, employing hundreds or even thousands of developers, and their projects require significant investments. To secure predictable revenue, they are forced to play it safe. Adding an open world with a massive playtime metric is a low-risk way to appeal to shareholders and, of course, justify the price tag. However, this bigger is better approach traps AAA studios in a cycle they can't easily escape. Pivoting to smaller, more focused games would mean taking on significant financial risk, something that is nearly impossible for companies with investors demanding guaranteed returns. For example, a studio like, again, Ubisoft, relies on the perception of value provided by large expansive worlds to market their games, even if the execution leaves players feeling fatigued. This reluctance to innovate exacerbates the problem. Instead of exploring ways to make open worlds more meaningful, AAA games often fall back on tried and true templates: towers to climb, icons to clear, and collectibles to collect. The sheer size of the worlds often overwhelm developers as well, leading to uneven quality and shallow gameplay mechanics. The irony is that the very size and scope meant to impress players often become the biggest detriments. Players are growing wary of these checklist-driven experiences, and the cracks in the formula are becoming more apparent with each release. If AAA studios don't find a way to break free from this cycle, they risk alienating their audience and losing relevance in an industry that increasingly values depth and innovation over sheer scale. Open-world games have the potential to deliver some of the most immersive and rewarding experiences in gaming, but as AAA studios prioritize scale and profitability, many open worlds lose their sense of wonder and purpose. Instead of focusing on meaningful exploration or innovative mechanics, they fall into the trap of creating oversized maps filled with superficial content. The future of open-world games lies in a return of thoughtful design, whether through engaging narratives, cohesive mechanics, or worlds that feel alive and worth exploring. Games like The Legend of Zelda and Elden Ring show that it's possible to create vast open worlds that respect the player's time and, of course, intelligence. As players, we should demand more from the industry, valuing depth over size and quality over quantity. After all, the best open worlds aren't the biggest. They are the ones that make us feel something. So, what's your take? Are open worlds still worth exploring, or have they become a tired trend? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the gaming world.